Hello everyone, it's TheCanadianWifier here. Let's say once upon a time, maybe a couple weeks ago, I was really in the mood for a standard match. Like, I was craving a standard match, and no one in my sub boxes had posted anything standard, even close to standard, in a long ass time. I asked around for a few people, and they pointed me towards Black Blastoise. And it was a very enjoyable standard match, and in fact, I liked the match so much that I borrowed the idea for his team, as you can see right here in today's team preview. Now, the idea behind my team, it is pretty damn similar. The only difference is I have a Landorus T for momentum as opposed to him having a Skarmory, and I also think Landorus T is a lot better in this meta than Skarmory is, because it can actually stop Terrakion to an extent, but we won't get to why Terrakion is broken as fuck. So, we have CB T-Tar. Basically, you send out Keldeo, you double to T-Tar, predicting an obvious switch to... what are the counters? Either one of the Laddie twins, Jellicent, Starmie, Celebi, list goes on. They're all weak to Pursuit. Choice Banded Pursuit. Bingo, Keldeo sweeps from there because the counter is gone. You have my Stealth Rock on my Landorus T. You got Standard Rotom Wash. Choice Banded Tyranitar because I got the Scarf on Keldeo. And I have an Amoonguss, Sub-Moonguss, which counters the absolute fuck out of Rain. Anyway, looking at the team preview, I got my team, Amoondeo, based around the Keldeo, Amoonguss. You know how it is. Anyway, that's on his end. I mean, he has the Scarf Keldeo. He has the D-Knight. He has the Rock Polish Landorus, the probably Choice Banded Scizor, the Tyranitar with a Stealth Rock, and a defensive Starmie with Spin. Ladies and gentlemen, it is standard versus standard. We have two standard balanced sand teams. This is about as OU and as standard and balanced as you are going to find. So the opponent is going to lead off with a Scizor, as I lead off with Cloud Paw. Pay attention to the damage. It does dead on 50%, as he just U-turns out. Goes into his own Landers. I know I can't stay in because A, he could have the HP Ice. B, he could just Rock Polish in my face. I think I do have the HP Ice on that Landers, but I'm very, very afraid of the HP Ice on his own. So I'm going to switch out into my reliable Rotom Wash form. As he goes for the Focus Blast, predicting that I'm just going to get off a Hydro Pump in case he wants to stay in. He, in fact, switches out to his Keldeo, which Amoonguss walls completely. So I switch out into that. Go over the sub, because I know what he switches in is probably not what I want to put to sleep. It's what he wants to put to sleep. So I'm going to make sure he doesn't get his wish. Unfortunately, Giga Drain in the Sand does 20% to Tyranitar. And looking at that damage, he does not have leftovers. So I don't know what item he would be, because it's obviously not banded as he set up rocks, but it's also not left. I don't know. But now I Spore randomly as he breaks my sub, and I get the Keldeo on the switch, which is absolutely amazing. So thank you for that, sir. I'm not quite sure what you were doing, but then I randomly switch out to my Landorus T, because, I mean, when he's obviously going to switch, you go back to your lead, and in comes the Scizor. I'm just going to set up my Stealth Rock, predicting the switch out, because he knows I could kill him from that range, as I'm just going to go out and stack my Rotom Wash to a crit HP Ice from the opposing Landorus. It's the safest play. I go out to my Keldeo, double into my Tyranitar. Welcome to OU, in comes the Starmie. That is a dead Starmie, and Keldeo is free to sweep, because Keldeo's counter, check, I would say counter. Anyway, it's gone, it's out of the way. Tyranitar just cleaned it out, and ladies and gentlemen, the nickname stays true. It is pony time, as Keldeo is literally free to sweep his team. Dragonite will get his multi-scale broken by the rocks, as I can just go into Rainbow Dash and fire off some Hydro Pumps. So he is... or sorry, a Surf, because I didn't want to miss the Landorus. Hydro Pump is more late game cleaning if I need to hit, and then you have Surf. Surf is when you need to hit. Hydro Pump is when you're just like, I want big damage. It's generally how Keldeo works. Anyway, he brings in Dragonite. I don't want to take a Banded Outrage or a +1 Extreme Speed or whatever he wants to throw at me. It turns out to be a Banded Outrage, and I stay in, stacking my Cloud Paw, and then I realize, oh yeah, Banded Dragonite. I'm faster than that with this thing. I'm not quite sure how, because Banded Dragonite's supposed to be max speed. And I think I reached I don't know what I reach. I know it's not very much. But it allows me to go off an HP Ice, which allows me to come in with Keldeo and kill it off, as he does not want to switch out because he would just add a rocks, because he does not have a spinner anymore. He brings in his Keldeo, and because it is asleep and because of sand, it is going to be a 2-hit KO with a Surf, which is absolutely wonderful, as this Keldeo is just going to put in a little bit of work. Ladies and gentlemen, when Tyranitar mentioned that it was pony time with his nickname, he was not joking. This is about as perfect as this team can work. It is basically mess around, sack things, predict the basically send in your Keldeo at the earliest possible moment, double into T-Tar, and then go ham on Keldeo's next switch in. And that's basically how the team works. I didn't even have to go out into CB Terrakion, but we won't get to that. And because this battle was a little short, I mean, it was only 23 turns, I actually have a second one for you coming up right now, so let's get into that one as well. So, looking at the team review of the second one, he has a rain team. And to be honest, nothing on that rain team immediately benefits from the rain, and this is the beauty of running sand. Sandstorm is more to cancel out the rain or the sun if they have immediate threats. To be honest, the only reason one carries a Tyranitar, you don't use the sand. Ever since Excadrill's ban, sand really isn't like an abusable weather. It's just kind of a neutral weather that cancels out the other two. Because let's be honest, hail is just obsolete as hell. But sand is just kind of there. It allows you to take hits from Latios, kill off Keldeo's counters, and then set up Stealth Rock. And Tyranitar does that so well that that's why it's number 4, number 5 in OU. Anyway, looking at his team, he's got the Ferrothorn, he's got the Scizor, he's got a Chomp. He has a Conkeldurr, which is a very interesting poke, especially in rain, because Conkeldurr cannot take rain boost. It hits very well whatsoever. And then he has the Jellicent. I'm predicting the Scizor to lead, basically, and because of that, I'm just going to lead off with the Landorus T. Let's get into it right now, and we got it started. So, leading off the battle, he leads off with Ferrothorn, and I lead off with Cloudpaw. I'm just going to go for an Earthquake as he sets up his Stealth Rock. Not the greatest turn by me, because now I'm forced to go for the Stealth Rock on the second turn as he sets up a Leech Seed, and wouldn't you know it, Ferrothorn's already back up to 77%. I noticed there's no lefties, which means he's likely Rocky Helmet, and I'm just going to go stay in one more turn, you know, see what will happen, and I turn out to get a crit Earthquake, and he misses a Power Whip, so not a bad turn, glad I stayed in, and now I can just go for another Earthquake. He brings in Jellicent, and it does a really sizable chunk, but the fact that I am Leech Seeded makes me not want to stay in whatsoever, so I'm going to be able to U-turn out, get a touch more damage in there, and just go right into the Tyranitar. I'm kind of a really bad play on my part, because now I end up switching into the Will-O-Wisp as opposed to outspeeding him before the Will-O-Wisp. So, he's just going to spam Recover in here while I fail to do anything to this Jellicent. And it is for this reason, the fact that I switched in Tyranitar on a Jellicent as opposed to, like, letting something die and then bringing in Tyranitar afterwards, is the reason that Keldeo is not going to be able to do much in this game. Spoilers, but it's not going to do much because there's still this thing lurking around. Anyway, it was at this point that I was predicting the Recover, and I'm like, okay, choice Banded Terrakion. You can kill the Stone Edge from 96, right? No, only does 80. Okay, bad. Go right back into Tyranitar and just sack it. Because the last thing I need is another threat going down to this damn Jellicent on turn 9. So, I'm just going to leave this thing, and he makes a bad play here. Instead of killing me off, thinking he'd be slower, even though he's clearly faster this whole time. And allows me to get off about half damage on him with that crunch, which is still a really good chunk. I mean, it means I could kill him from full. If I wasn't burned. Anyway, bring in the Terrakion. Obvious, Stone Edge is obvious, but I'm sorry, Defensive Toad, you're still going to take 70% from that. Bad news bears when an Adamant Banded Terrakion gets switched in. Anyway, I'm going to go for a Stone Edge again, because I'm just going to show him, like, dude, you're dying. And now I know I'm going to miss, so I'm going to switch. I'm going to switch right into my Amoonguss, which is my rain counter, as his rain is here to stay. As he's going to go straight into his Garchomp. Knowing that Garchomp is an absolute giant threat, I am going to be forced to go for the HP Ice, predicting him to SD in my face, predicting me to switch out, as he ends up going into his Ferrothorn, and this is beautiful, because Ferrothorn can do nothing to me, and because Ferrothorn does not have leftovers, it allows me to get up a sub before killing him, which means whatever's going to come in is forced to deal with Amoonguss for the sub, as opposed to just scaring out Amoonguss. And in comes Scizor, and dude, I'm not scared. I'm gonna go for the sub, predicting you to go for the U-turn, break my sub, go to a threat. But he actually just stays in and Bug Bites, which I'm like, well, damn. And then he turns to SD, and I'm like, okay, enough of that. I'm putting you to sleep, and you're gonna stop that shenanigans right now. And because of Regenerator, I'm gonna be right back up to 100 at the end of this turn. Anyway, knowing that Scizor is, like, he doesn't want... Knowing that he still has a Jellicent around, I'm going to go for the Volt Switch, basically. And it is a bad play, because now I'm forced to go into Cloudpaw, at least get the Intimidate off, and try to salvage my bad play that way. He wakes up, goes for the bullet punch, and is going to do an absolute truckload. And as you saw earlier in this game, Earthquake only does 50%. Apparently that's standard Sizzler, because I did the exact same amount of damage to both of them. And I'm going to be forced to bring out my Rotom Wash and go for another Volt Switch, killing off this Sizzler. +1, it still does a sizable amount. I mean, 17% with a 4 times resist is nothing to sneeze at. Anyway, I can bring out Terrakion. I mean, something's going to be threatened. It's a Choice Banded Adamant Terrakion. But because he brought out Garchomp, and Garchomp is generally faster than a Terrakion, I really can't think of a way that it wouldn't be faster. I'm going to go out into my Rotom, predicting him to be Scarf, because looking at his team, it really is the only viable Scarfer on his team. Now, as he goes out into Conkeldurr, I'm going to go for the Pain Split, getting a ton of HP back. It didn't really matter. Unless he wanted to go to his Politoed and sack it, it would have been kind of bad. But right here, I just thought, like, I don't know. I knew he had a Jellicent, but I just figured he would try to leave it in and get some big damage off on me. Maybe predict the Will-O-Wisp, thinking he wouldn't have Guts, thinking that would have Guts. But regardless, I go for the Hydro Pump, and then here, I miss a Willow while he hits his, and I just kind of put in the chat, well, I wasn't mad or anything. I just put, well, damn, that sucks. And he's like, don't you blah blah blah, and he started going off on a tangent about how Burn does not matter worth shit on Jellicent because it has recovery. And I just kept spamming residual damage, dude. Burn plus rocks means you're not going to be gaining, whatever. He really did not get the concept of residual damage in the slightest, which I found really funny, but I'm going to Volt Switch out into my Rainbow Dash as he brings out Conkeldurr, predicting the Jellicent to come right back out in my face, because obvious Jellicent is obvious. It counters the absolute living crap out of Keldeo. I'm just going to double right under my Rotom Wash and go for another Volt Switch, and the Burn here takes him so close into KO damage. I think Rotom did like 46 to 54 or something like that, and of course I roll a lower damage roll, which allows him to survive, which basically, he was just being obnoxious. Let's just leave it at that. Anyway, here he's just going to go out into his Garchomp. Sorry, Choice Banded Stone Edge is still going to do 42%. Which will be a 2-hit KO, but once again, he is faster than me, and I do not want to stay in for it. He's just going to go for a Dragon Claw, which I can live another one of, because Standard Sav is pretty damn bulky. And it is at this point, after I go for the Hidden Power Ice, because, I mean, there was a threat. You do not mess around with threats. He's going to be down to 23%. My alarm is going off. What is this? I didn't even know. Okay, screw it. Anyway, knowing that he's going to go for the recover, I'm going to go for the Giga Drain, putting a little bit of pressure on him, you know, force him to recover again, knowing that, like, just showing him, I can kill you. You better recover again. And that's going to allow me to get up a sub. And after this turn, he took about 45 seconds to a minute to make his move. And I was just smiling the whole time, because I'm like, I'm pretty sure he just realized he lost, because he can't do anything to this Amoonguss anymore. Absolutely nothing. And I just shot him a quick PK face. And as soon as this Conkeldurr dies in 2 hits, he, like, last bet, no, go Garchomp, you're so powerful, save me. And I just killed off with an HP Ice. And combine all these factors together, and it's just going to lead to a nice, simple Rage Quit. With a beautifully worded PM sent to me afterwards. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed these 2 OU matches with Amoondeo, which has to be one of my more favorite OU teams that I've made in a long time. So thank you, Black Blastoise, for the team structure. I threw a couple little TheCanadianWifier flares on there, like Modest Keldeo over Timid Keldeo, and a custom Rotom spread. But all in all, it's basically Black Blastoise's team. So if you're looking for standard, obviously definitely go check out Black Blastoise. Absolutely amazing battler. Anyway, hope you guys didn't mind this one being a little bit longer than the average upload is. I've had some pressure to upload a little bit longer, cough cough. But anyway, hope you can look past that, and we'll see you guys next time. So peace.